Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon. Because today's story is not just a biography, it's a journey through one man's heart. A journey of a quiet boy who turned loneliness into laughter. A story of the artist behind the world's most beloved comic strip. His name was Charles Schulz, the father of Peanuts. The man whose characters lived in millions of homes every morning. The man who made the world smile, even when he himself struggled to. But behind all the joy he created, there was a lifetime of silent pain. And the ending of his story is something few people truly know. Let's begin, gently, the way he lived his life. It was December 1999, when Charles Schulz sat alone in his studio. A cold night, quiet enough to hear his pencil rolling on the table. The phone rang, breaking the silence he had lived with for years. He listened to the words on the other end, his breath growing unsteady. Then he whispered two small words that ended a 50-year world tradition. "It's over," he said softly, as if talking to himself. His hands trembled, his vision faded like old ink on paper. Cancer had taken away the one thing he lived for, drawing. And with that, the heart of Peanuts began to dim. Not with applause, but with the calm sorrow of a man letting go. Charles Schulz was born on November 26, 1922, in Minneapolis. A cold city that matched the quiet rhythm of his early childhood. His father, Carl, worked long hours as a humble barber. His mother, Dina, gentle and soft-spoken, often battled illness. Money was short, hope was thin, but their love was constant. They moved from small apartment to smaller apartment during the Depression. Charles absorbed the silence of that life like ink into paper. He preferred solitude over noise, sketching worlds only he could see. And from those silent rooms, his imagination began to grow. The roots of Peanuts were being planted long before he knew it. There was one friend who shaped him more than anyone else, Spike. A dog who followed young Charles everywhere he went. Spike understood him in a way people never quite could. When Spike died after being hit by a car, the loss shattered him. 10-year-old Charles dug the grave himself in the frozen ground. He never forgot the sound of the shovel against the hard earth. That grief stayed with him like a shadow no light could erase. Later, it blossomed into Snoopy, a dog who never truly leaves. A companion who dreams loudly, even when he feels alone inside. Just like the boy who created him. School didn't bring comfort either. It only made him smaller. Charles was shy, awkward, and younger than everyone around him. Teachers' questions froze his tongue. Recess felt like punishment. While other children played, he quietly traced shapes in the dirt. He watched life from a distance he couldn't cross. Those moments became the nervous smile of Charlie Brown. The hope before disappointment. The bravery to try again, even after failing. His childhood pain became the emotional backbone of Peanuts. He didn't know it then, but his loneliness was becoming art. Drawing became his escape, the one place he felt safe. He spent hours bent over scraps of paper, lost in little cartoons. His parents couldn't afford art lessons, but his mother tried her best. She skipped meals just to buy him pencils. Her faith in him was the only light he had. In 1937, he sent a drawing of Spike to Ripley's Believe It or Not. They published it, his first taste of success. He showed his classmates, hopping for pride, but they barely noticed. Even victory felt lonely to him. Still, he kept drawing because it kept him alive. Then came the darkest year of his life, 1943. His mother's illness had worsened, and her pain filled the house. Charles tried to make her smile with little drawings. But cancer was winning the fight they couldn't see. Just days before he left for the army, she passed away. He never got to say goodbye. That regret stayed forever. During the war, he marched across Europe as a staff sergeant. He hated guns, yet carried one because he had to. He saw death closely, felt fear deeply, and grew older too fast. Those memories later shaped the quiet sadness in Peanuts. At a concentration camp in Germany, he saw survivors wandering. Starved, fragile, almost ghost-like in their silence. He rarely spoke of that day, but it never left him. It grew inside him as compassion, gentleness, and sorrow. Emotions that flowed into Charlie Brown's quiet world. Before leaving for war, he told his mother, "We'll get a dog." Life didn't allow that promise to come true, so he fulfilled it through Snoopy instead. A dog born from loss, love, and imagination. The dog she never lived to meet. When he returned home in 1945, nothing felt familiar anymore. He had left as a boy who loved drawing. He returned as a man carrying invisible scars. But one dream survived the war, becoming a cartoonist. He took a small job, grading art lessons for little pay. But it kept him close to pencils, paper, and hope. There he created his first strip, Lil Folks. Simple drawings with deep emotions that readers loved. But the newspaper didn't value him, and they dropped the strip. That heartbreak pushed him to try somewhere bigger. He mailed his work to United Feature Syndicate in New York. They liked his drawings, but rejected the name Lil Folks. Without asking him, they renamed it Peanuts. Schulz hated it. He thought it sounded small and meaningless. But he had no power to stop it, so he continued. On October 2, 1950, Peanuts debuted in just 7 newspapers. He earned only $90 that first month. But those tiny 4 panels held the story of his entire life. Loneliness, humor, empathy, all wrapped in quiet simplicity. And for readers, that simplicity became magic. By the late 50s, the strip exploded in popularity. Lunchboxes, posters, magazines, Peanuts was everywhere. Snoopy became the dreamer. Charlie Brown became the struggler. People saw themselves in these characters. But fame didn't fill the emptiness inside Schulz. He married Joyce Haverson, built a family, and found stability. Yet emotionally, he drifted farther from everyone he loved. He worked 6 days a week, refusing assistance. "No one can draw my feelings," he said. His genius isolated him more than it freed him. Inside the strip lived his heartbreaks. Lucy's sharp tongue came from people who had mocked him. Charlie Brown's failures were his own insecurities. And the little red-haired girl was a real woman he once loved. Her name was Donna Johnson, the one who said no to his proposal. She married someone else, and he carried that wound forever. In 1965, a Charlie Brown Christmas aired on television. Executives doubted it, calling it too quiet. But the world embraced it with open arms. Still, his sadness never fully left him. By the 1970s, Schulz was a global icon. His strip appeared in over 1,000 newspapers. But behind the success, his health was faltering. His hands developed a tremor. Drawing grew harder every day. The syndicate even hired another artist behind his back. When Schulz discovered the secret backup strips, he felt betrayed. He renegotiated his contract immediately. From then on, no one else could ever draw Peanuts. Not even after his death. It was his life's work, and he guarded it fiercely. By the late 1990s, the toll became impossible to ignore. His hands shook, his lines wavered, his body weakened. Then came emergency surgery and the discovery of colon cancer. Treatment damaged his vision and stole his ability to draw. For the first time in 50 years, he had to stop. The syndicate asked if Peanuts should continue with another artist. Schulz sat quietly, absorbing the question. Then he whispered the decision he never wanted to make. "I'm done. No one else can draw these characters but me." With that, he ended an era. His final strip ran on February 13, 2000. Just hours earlier, Schulz had passed away in his sleep. The world woke to goodbye, drawn by a trembling hand. Snoopy sat at a typewriter, thanking readers for their love. It was simple, gentle, and deeply human, just like Schulz. He spent half a century turning sadness into smiles, turning loneliness into characters who felt like family. Even today, Peanuts whispers courage to those who feel small, a reminder that quiet people can change the world. So tell me, which part of Peanuts lives in your heart?